world has existed and happened in the past, and now it's like whatever.
Mm.
I don't
I'm looking
know.
at it.
Oh well,
Just
let's talk about your Giants, man.
they 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 lose even when they win is
Yeah, they do.
what we can say. What we can say. Yeah, I don't know. I was watching the game and I thought they might win.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought they might win, but Flacco was playing, so I was like, all right, well, once again, we're playing against the backup real quick. We're gonna lose. I don't know who told Drew Lock he should be out going out there balling, but he balled.
Yeah, he did.
In fact, everyone did except for the defense. The defense did what the defense has been doing. They have been
Yeah.
playing great. They had two interceptions. We were the worst interception team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got two last week, which is
Yep.
ridiculous. Basically, almost doubled our our interceptions on the league.
You almost
We
doubled your
had
points for the league too, for the year.
mhm,
See,
mhm.
rocking 45 in a game. It's like
we
wow,
uh we also had a kick a special teams touchdown.
nice.
Kick. I'm like, who is this team? Who is this team?
Yeah.
Now, now I get it. Like I said, I said it before. The players they tanking. Ownership may want you to tank. The coach doesn't want to tank. The
No,
players don't want to tank.
players and
They're
coach
not
are
tanking.
taken.
They're not tanking. People are playing for their jobs. I honestly don't think the owner wanted to tank. They did not want to be the first team to ever go 0-9 at home.
And they didn't. They won an
They
eight.
they were 1-8.
They got that one. But well, I mean
Yes.
that's good. I mean they played a great game,
Yeah.
like offensively. Malik
Yeah, Malik.
Neighbors had this game of the season, 7
Yep.
catches, 171 and 2 touches. 7 catches
Two,
on 8 targets. That's nice.
yeah. Tracy looked good. Like I said, I it felt like Joe said, "All right, rookies, let please go out there and have a good game so that I can say, look at what I did this draft because they all came to play.
Yeah.
All the rookies came to play and they showed out. They had a solid game. It for fans who are upset about the draft, right? The not getting the first pick or losing out on the first pick because they win. I do think, and I've said this all year, I do think that there is some hope in the talent that we've been seeing on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball that came from this year's draft. And you can consider Wandale Robinson from Joe's first draft, right? You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like so there's some talent to be had on the team, something to look forward to. Uh,
Hmm.
the defense is playing pretty good. The defense, I think Burns did not quit on us, which I'm glad he didn't do. Like he's out there still playing every single down. He made his money already. You know what I'm saying? Some
Hmm.
people, he's got his money. He's not playing for anything.
No, for
You
sure.
might you might expect them to tone it down. He's out there giving 110% every game.
Hmm.
Like I said, I don't think that Dayball has lost the locker room, which I think that kind of helps
Hmm.
him. But yeah, it's a win. Like I'm not gonna be mad at a win. Uh, I'm a little upset, but
I
but
understand.
I I couldn't watching the team win felt good.
For
Like
sure.
watching your team lose doesn't feel good. I don't care what you're losing for. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good. You feel defeated. You take solace knowing that at least there's the first pick, but you don't want them. You don't want to watch them lose.
No.
Any fan that wants to watch their team lose, I don't know. I get what you're saying. You're thinking it's going to be for the betterment of the team. Is it? Is it?
Yeah, it's tough.
So
I mean,
yeah.
if you stay sitting at like the fourth pick, that's where they're at right now, right?
Yep. Before.
There's a good chance you can jump up to one.
Yeah.
You if that's what you want to do. Like everything I'm reading, and I mean, who knows what this like? Nobody
Yeah.
seems super jazzed about either quarterback coming out. Like
But you're going to take them.
somebody's going to take them, right? Uh, so like, which is or like you said, maybe it's running with somebody like
On
Justin
another team.
Fields, or hoping you can find next year's. I hate when it's that. Like maybe you could find this year's. What's his face? Goober in
Sam
Minnesota,
Darnold.
Sam Darnold, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe you find this year's Sam Darnold, or you can coax somebody out of retirement and get this year's Joe Flacco or whatever, right? Who knows?
Like, if the Giants aren't happy with who they have to pick, if they try to move up and they can't get who they want, I'm not opposed to that. Like, there's talent
Mm-hmm.
to be found on other teams at this point in time who will probably be available, who may not be your franchise, but they may be a very good 1 year replacement.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you can
Like,
get a good
I,
1 or 2 year replacement and like make some
yeah,
moves, and who knows?
Kirk Cousins is a good 1 year, 2 year
Kirk
replacement.
Cousins is going to be available.
He's going to be
Kirk
available.
Cousins is going to be available. There's going to be some names available.
Yeah, definitely. Um, one of my friends was talking dumb. He said, if I was the 49ers, I would offer Brock Purdy $24 million. I was like, then you won't have Brock Purdy. Right? If $24 million is what you're going to start offering Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
you're not going to have Brock Purdy.
No.
You're either going to franchise him, it's going to cost you $55 million,
Mm-hmm.
or he's going to go to free agency and someone's going to pay him 55, $60 million
He's
a
going to
year.
get that money no matter what it is. Yep.
It doesn't, why would I, if I'm Brock Purdy, even entertain less than 50?
Yeah.
Less than 50, I don't think I even entertain. In the 50s, I might entertain it. If
Mm-hmm.
if if I want to save couple dollars to give them some space for the rest of the players, I may not try to go for 65 million. I
Mm-hmm.
may not try to break the bank if I'm being generous, but let's be real, I'm not being generous for anything less than 50
Yeah.
$50 million, right?
Yeah.
It's 50 and up. It is 50 and up for that. But
Business, never
I'm just
personal.
exactly. I'm just like, there's going to be people out there. I think say I don't think it's Fields or Russ, whoever they decide,
Mm-hmm.
whether if they decide on anybody,
Yeah.
they may decide to go not in the draft again and do what they just did and go get one of these cheaper options
Yeah.
for another year instead of going for a long-term deal with any one of them until they can find someone that they really want to go after in the draft. Maybe I don't that does not seem like a recipe for success to
Mm-hmm.
constantly keep doing that. So they will probably keep one of those guys on that team for just consistency stakes. Like, you
Yeah.
don't want to go every year with a new quarterback teaching him again.
Yeah.
So one of them will probably stay. Whether they want to give it to Russ or whether they wanted to give it to Fields, who knows? But one of those guys is going to be available, and I'm fine with taking either one of them on a 1 year deal.
You're gonna see Fields, Russ, Kirko. You might even see Geno Smith.
Yep.
He's got one
Yep.
year left in his deal, and I saw a bunch of Seattle people talked about like they're over the cap. The only way they can do it is either trading or cutting people, and Geno Smith's deal is the most expendable.
Yeah.
Like, if you cut Geno Smith, he has been one of the best quarterbacks. He's been a top 10 quarterback the last 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, if
Yep.
you want to do this, you could say, well, Geno Smith, he's really good. He was bad at first, and he came from the Jets. Now Sam Darnold's really good, and he was bad at first, and he came from the Jets. Zach Wilson's going to be available out there.
Yep.
Who
Yep.
knows?
No one wants Zach Wilson.
You never know. Trey Lance is going to be out there.
Yeah, but for a reason. There's reason that Trey Lance
Is going to be out there. I mean, Purdy is a free agent, but I imagine the 49ers will do something to keep him.
Yeah, they got. They have to.
Jimmy G is going to get his first snaps of the season this week, filling in for.
But who? What team is he on?
He's on the Rams.
Right.
They're sitting.
Rams?
They're sitting there, guys, because they're sitting there. They don't need to play.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy G is going to go out and get some snaps. So you'll see him. Who else is getting snaps this week? Carson Wentz is getting snaps this week. He's playing for the Chiefs. Who
Carr will
else?
probably be out.
Who?
Carr.
Carr will be available. Kenny
I
Pickett's
think
going to be available. There's going to be names available. I don't know if any of them are good.
none of them may be great, but you're talking about not wanting to leverage your future for one of those top guys.
Yeah.
Let's say the Giants go pick at 4 and they can't get higher than that,
Yep.
right? Let's say they win this week, which would absolutely stink, and go fall right into
They'll
the
be sitting there with the
Philadelphia
Bears
Eagles
at
plans.
4 and
Yeah,
14,
they'll
or
be they'll be
4 and
they'll be
13.
falling right into the Eagles plan. I know what you're doing, Eagles. I know what you're doing. So, but let's say we're not there, and we can't move up far enough to get the pick, and we don't feel like leveraging 2 full seasons for that. Um, yeah, then there's gonna be people that you can get just for a year, just for that's will be a step up from what you went into with this year,
Yes.
right? Now, what people won't want to hear, is that that's still not future success. Your chances are you're not going to find your franchise quarterback on one of these teams.
Yep.
Now, granted, you might get lucky like the Seattle did. They were able to go throw Geno out there, and he was a franchise quarterback
He
for
became a franchise quarterback. Is
for
that?
Seattle for those years. That's rare. Baker Mayfield,
Yep.
guys, it's rare that you can find them,
Mm-hmm.
but it's rare that you're going to find your franchise quarterback on the free agent market.
I think Geno Smith is the wildest swing at a pitch that turned into a home run for because there's not a single person outside of the Seattle, not even like Seattle fandom. I'm talking like Seattle, like the Seahawks offices, who thought Geno Smith was going to be good, and then he came out and he's been outstanding. And like if Geno Smith is available, like when they said it, like they either have to cut Geno or trade DK Metcalf. And I'm like, I think you probably trade DK Metcalf. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you
Risk it?
Why would you give up on a quarterback who's giving you 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns for the last 3 years, and throwing it like 70% completion rate? Like, why would you dump that? And has survived 2 head coaches and three offensive coordinators, and the quality has stayed the same across the board every year. Like, you want that? Like, cutting Geno Smith would be insane. But what do I know?
Yeah.
You know it's insane. And I shared this picture with you the other day. Let's talk about the 5 pass catchers that were taken in the first round and what they've done through 16 games. Right?
5 pass catchers, yes.
Yeah. So Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock
Number
Bowers,
1.
Rome Odunze, Malik
Oh, yeah.
Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr.
You was counting Brock. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because Brock Bowers just set the rookie reception record, which was set by Puka Nacua last year. He's got 108 receptions on. I don't even know how that team exists. Like,
They won again.
I know.
Beat the Saints.
Because of Brock Bowers. He's got 108 receptions and 1144. He broke the 60-something-year-old Mike Ditka rookie tight end receiving yards record too. So good for him. And Malik Neighbors, he's at 104 catches and 11.
Yeah, he's right behind
1140 yards in 6, but he's only in 14 games because he had concussion and he was out for those 2 games.
Yep.
Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze. Marvin Harrison Jr. is 57 catches for 822 yards. Fine season, 7 touchdowns.
Yep.
7 touchdowns. He's still got another game. I mean, he's not going to hit 1,000, but, nice season. Romeo, 52 catches, 716 yards, 3 touchdowns on probably the most dysfunctional offense in all of football. And then Brian Thomas Jr., who has
probably
had Beautiful Horseman and Mac Jones thrown to him, has 80 catches, 1,179 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
Probably statistically better than the rest.
What a game! So yeah, the 2 LSU guys, right there like that, man, it's just nuts. Absolutely bonkers.
I told you, I was like, listen, we were just like, you can't go wrong with those LSU wide receivers.
Brian Thomas Jr. was the guy who's like, okay, if you fall to the middle of the first, you got to take him. And that's where the Jaguars were at, and they took him. I mean,
that was my pick with Malik. Like, I can't really. I don't want to turn down the LSU wide receiver.
Brian Thomas Jr. is a speedster, man. He's a burner. That guy is fast as hell. But so is Malik. So are all these guys, even Brock Bowers.
Yep, JJ, Chase, Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Like, I'm not.
Oh, if you come out of LSU and you're a wide receiver,
ODB, Odell.
yeah.
Like, Why would I? Why would I? All
Well,
those guys. I can't. You can't not take them
and
at this point in time.
Jamar Chase is on pace. Jamar Chase has 1,612 receiving yards. He leads the league. He has more receiving yards than every wide receiver on the Patriots combined,
Yeah.
which is nuts. Because Drake May's having an okay season he's having all right. He's playing all right. And then Jamar Chase is currently leading in receptions, yards, and touchdowns for a wide receiver. He's looking at the Triple Crown. I don't know who the last person to do that was, but
Probably, if
probably
you had
Justin
asked,
Jefferson.
I was gonna say probably Jerry Rice. If you got asked, it's probably
Yeah,
Jerry.
who knows? It feels like Randy Moss could have probably did that when.
Receptions though.
Yeah, he
He
probably
was
had.
he was he was a big like a fewer receptions, a lot of yards.
Yeah, he probably had like 1,500 yards that year on like 40 catches, uh, for with Tom Brady. But yeah, every first round receiver has been putting up numbers. Every first round quarterback, except for JJ McCarthy, who might not play next year for the Vikings.
I have the list. I have the list
Okay.
of people
Triple
who've
Crown.
done
Okay.
Triple Crown.
How many are there? Not many.
If you want to, you could go back to 1932.
I don't want to go back to. Let's do modern, like since 1980.
Since 1984.
Okay, Jerry Rice.
Once, yes.
He did it once.
Yes, in 1990.
Wow. Okay.
100 receptions, 1,500 yards, 13 TDs.
All right. When's the most recent one?
2021.
2021. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years ago. Who? It wasn't Jamar Chase. It wasn't Justin Jefferson, was it? So it was Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
145 receptions, 1,947 yards with 16 TDs.
That was the year where maybe Cooper Kupp should get offense or should get MVP votes, and he didn't get a single one.
And Offensive Player of the Year and
player.
Super Bowl MVP.
And Super Bowl MVP, yeah, Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp. So there's two of them. There's two more, huh?
The next two are difficult. I'll give you the year.
Okay.
On the one, would you want the one after Jerry or the one before Kupp? Those are the bookend.
It don't matter. Just give me a year.
All right, 2005.
2005, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Terrell Owens.
No.
Okay, then is it Ocho Cinco?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't think this was a tough one. I will give you the hint that they give you over here. He tied with Larry Fitzgerald for receptions, and he tied with Marvin Harrison for touchdowns.
Wow. He tied.
So he wasn't all out. He didn't flat out have it, but yes.
How many yards was it?
1,563.
Is it something like? Is it Anquan Bolden?
No.
I don't know.
Good guess. It's a good guess. Steve Smith Sr.
I would never guess that, but man,
yeah.
he's a Hall of Fame finalist.
Yep.
And then there's what was the year the other one?
1992.
92. And it wasn't Jerry. 92. Who would have been a receiver in 92? It's like Tim Brown?
No. It's a good guess.
I have no idea who.
Sterling Sharp.
Sterling Sharp for the Packers?
108. Yep. 1461 and 13 TDs.
Wow. I hate the Packers.
That man had that man's career was cut short. But yes.
Yeah.
Shannon talks about him all the time. He's actually up for one of the Hall of Fame votes in him. Yep. He's a two-time semifinalist, but I think now he's a finalist for the old timers one. The one that they only let in I think one or two a year or something like that. Yeah, the other one they could put in as many people in the Hall of Fame as possible, but for the old with that one, I think it's only two people.
Yeah. All right. Well, man, good for him.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
That's tough. So he's gonna have it.
Mm-hmm.
His numbers aren't gonna look as good as Cooper Kupp's did, though. Jesus Christ.
No. Yeah, Cooper Kupp's silly. Cooper Kupp that was a crazy year.
That's the best year for a Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
in touchdowns.
145
No,
catches
not
is a
in
lot of catches.
touchdowns. Jesus. Elroy Hirsch from the Rams back in 51 had 1,495 and 17 TDs on 66
In
catches.
14 games?
Maybe.
That's what it would
Oh,
have been, 14 games back then.
Jesus, that's a lot. In 1951, he was passing like they were passing like that.
No. They were passing to him, and he was like that. I bet you the average air yards was probably like 6, and just nobody could tackle him. That's my guess.
Oh my God.
All right.
Don Hudson won it like 6 times. But yes, sorry.
No, you're good. That's like Jamar Chase
He's
is having an
gonna-
outstanding season. Joe Burrow is having an outstanding season. And we're getting
They
down
got a chance. They got a chance.
They do. Well, let's talk about the Bears real fast. They're terrible. They scored 3 points at home against the Seahawks, who only scored 6.
That was a horrible game.
The Bears. Oh, I know. And the worst part is it was on national. It was on Thursday. It was the last Thursday night game. So that's all you hear is people talking about it. God, I hate it so much. This is one of the most painful seasons as a Bears fan ever. Mainly because of everything that went into going into the season. And you had the 4 or 5 week commercial that is Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It did a number on us too.
Yeah, you had the Hard Knocks commercial. You had everybody. You had what's his face? I think the Bears are a dark horse for the Super Bowl this year. It's like everybody talking about Caleb Williams breaking every Bears passing record this year. Like who's going to get to 1,000 yards first? Talking about the receivers. Like everything was just so much. Flus had a beard. And now we're here, and I can't do it anymore. I can't stand watching them. I can't stand anything. Like I turned that game off. I'm like, this sucks. And you're like, well,
it was not a good game.
Like they're still in it. Like it was scored 6-3. They were in it the whole game.
That's why when you said you was done, I was like, hey, they can definitely still win this game.
Yeah, maybe good for them. I hope they do. Like it's just tough. And especially when they're playing that bad, they come on. The offense is so bad.
It was ugly to watch.
There's so many penalties. So many you could tell that they're rushing to get stuff done. So many sacks, and the sacks aren't even on the offensive line. Like Caleb Williams doesn't get sacked like 900 times a season, and like 70% are on him. I'm just me. Throw it, and they don't throw it, and it's like okay, there's a sack. Like okay, this is coaching. These are things that you coach players to not do, but we don't have anybody coaching them, so it's just it's whatever.
The thing with Caleb is I think he forgets it's not college. Like I think you brought it up before. In college, you can hold the ball to the last minute and possibly find something down the field. And it's that switch that has to take flipping his head to go, oh no, I'm just gonna throw it away. I just live to play another down. I think he's trying to do too much with the ball and in turn holding it too long.
You know what is the downfall to that, and is also what the problem with Justin Fields was. They're very good at escaping the rush in the pocket.
Yeah.
They're evasive, right? So it's like, well, I can just dodge every pass rush. No, you can't. No, you can't. You have to know. You have to know. I was thinking about this earlier today. I wonder if they practice, where there's a timer counting in your headpiece. You take a snap when they're practicing. 1, 2, 3. You should know by 3. Oh, I bet I have to be doing something. If I'm still standing at 3, I'm gonna be getting rushed. I'm gonna be getting hit any second.
My blocker can't hold that block for them. Yeah. I'm at 4. There is somebody near me. It's something that we saw from used to make me sick. And I'm not comparing them this, but this is what when you're looking at those elite quarterbacks, it's like they sense there's a guy around them. And I don't think they do. I just think they know there's a certain amount of time that their blockers are going to be able to block.
Yep. And
they have to get the ball out, whether it's out of bounds, whether it's to a receiver. I can't be holding the ball once my internal clock hits a certain point.
Yep. The good quarterbacks, the great quarterbacks, they have what looks like a sixth sense, right? But you can feel activity behind you, right? You know, like when you're sitting there, you know your kid's standing behind you. You know it,
Yes.
right? Like
Uh-huh.
it's like that. And I think Caleb has that. He's shown evidence of that. He just does not throw the ball away. And then when he
Hmm.
does throw the ball away, he he even still holds onto that too long. It's like I'm gonna run over this way and then throw the ball away. No, just throw it away. Just throw it away.
Yes. I think Jaden Daniels does that exact same thing.
Yeah.
He does throw the ball away, but the point is don't take a hit. Don't like
Well, here's the thing
just
about Jaden Daniels though, is he's got that Justin Fields rushing quality to him, where he can just break off 30 yards like it's no big deal,
Mhm.
and he's shown that this season. I think he's the first rookie to ever have like 3,400 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, and 800 yards rushing. Like he's having an outstanding year, but like the same thing you imagine that it'll catch up to him eventually. He's not going to be able to do
Mhm.
that all the time. So we'll see. But yeah, Bears, whatever. They play the Packers this week. Who cares?
Ugh.
I don't care
Yeah.
about anything. Just please don't let anybody get hurt. Please don't let Caleb get hurt. Let him go out there and play, and maybe they'll beat the Packers. But there were far more interesting games this week. Uh,
Did we talk about Tank Dell's injury? The ramifications of that injury?
yes, that's at least it'll be out at least now next year.
He tore every
Thing in
L
his knee.
in his leg.
Yes,
ACL,
every L is that what you said?
MCL, yes, every ACL,
Yeah.
PCL,
Yes.
MCL,
Yes.
torn meniscus,
Yes. And
dislocated
he
knee.
may never play again.
Modern science is if he comes back, it's ridiculous. There's nothing holding his leg together but skin.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't a compound, so nothing ripped through the skin. So the only thing there's no ligaments left.
Yeah. That's like if he ever plays again, because I think we talked about last week, because Tariq Cohen had something similar for the Bears, the running back. He signed that big deal, and then he tore everything in his knee, and he's never played since, right? And that was 2021. Like he was on the Carolina practice squad earlier this season, and they cut him. That's the closest he's sniffed an NFL field since then. It just happens. Like I don't I like Tank Dell a lot. I don't know if he'll ever play again, and that really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. On a touchdown play. They basically
Yes.
won the game.
Yes, that happened to. I don't want to make everything about the Bears, but the Bears Zach tight end. I can't remember what his name is, but they called the touchdown back like he didn't have possession, but he like destroyed his knee and never played again after that. That was a Mitch Trubisky pass.
Oh, not Mitch.
Yeah, yeah. So the Chiefs win, right? Are 15-1. They beat the Steelers. Neither of us thought that the Chiefs would win in Pittsburgh. They played probably their best offensive game of the season.
Yes, that's what the scary part was.
They still didn't score 30 points, but they played.
29. Did they score 29?
They scored their best. They had their best offense, and they're at 15-1. So Carson Wentz is taking the field for him this week to hopefully beat the Broncos, because I love the idea of the Broncos not making the playoffs.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you what. I like the idea of the Broncos not making the playoffs, but I don't want to see Burrow in the playoffs.
I do.
I'm rooting for Lamar.
Yes.
And I don't want him to have to see.
I understand that.
That's because that's I think that's who they'd play.
Well, so here's the deal: the Bengals need to win, the Dolphins need to lose, and the Broncos need to lose. So if the Dolphins win and the Broncos lose, it doesn't matter what the Bengals do.
The Dolphins, are they playing Tua? Last I saw Tua didn't play to start this week.
No.
Huntley,
Yeah,
they could very well lose.
Oh yeah, for sure. If I were to wager, I would say they'll lose. But if the Dolphins win and the Broncos lose and the Dolphins make the playoffs, that's even more hilarious than the Broncos losing, not making the playoffs. Like the Broncos not making the playoffs is hilarious. The Dolphins then making it is doubly hilarious. And I kind of hope that happens.
Oh man, who are they playing? I'm trying to see on this thing. Okay, yeah, I got to keep going forward. They played the Jets.
Yeah. So the
They could
Dolphins have a
win.
chance. Yeah.
They could win.
Yeah. The Jets are phoning it in.
Yeah. Pittsburgh plays Cincinnati.
Yes.
Think Pitt cares? Pitt's playing for the division.
Yeah.
No, they can't, right? Did Baltimore clinch it?
Yeah, I think
They're
so.
Baltimore's 11-5. Let me see if that's
Steelers are 10-6. I don't
yeah.
know.
They clinched the division. No, they didn't. I
So
think
you have to have the
XY.
Ravens lose, Steelers win, because the Steelers beat the Ravens, and there's probably some. Oh yeah, it's
They have not
in
clinched it.
division record, I think. And the
Yeah,
Steelers have more divisional wins than the Steelers do.
Than the Ravens do.
Than the Ravens do, yeah.
Yeah, because so it's not. Yeah, so Ravens and Steelers both have something to play for.
Yep.
So
Ravens, we're getting mollywopped. The Texans. The Texans. So we went from having no shutouts to, of course, the Saints getting shut out by the Green Bay Packers last week. We almost had a shutout this week if it wasn't for a rogue safety in the second. Like I
didn't even know where it came from.
Yeah, I was watching Derrick Henry in that play. I'm like, just keep going forward. Don't try to cut that. Don't bounce that back into the end zone. And yeah,
That's a weird score. That was
31-2. If you finish with 2,
you might as well have 0.
that's
zero.
you might as well get shot. That's way more embarrassing than finishing with 3.
It's a point less. It's a point more embarrassing.
But I mean, the points for that come off of defense on 2-point, 3-point.
No,
You
at least
had
your
to have a
offense-
kicker go out there and do something.
Correct.
So at least the Bears had a kicker to do something. God, as I'm scrolling through the scores, and I see the Seahawks and the Bears like score by quarters, and there was no scoring in the second half whatsoever. What a terrible
It
game.
wasn't. It was 3-6 when we talked. I was like,
I know.
I'm done. I was
I'm
like,
done. I'm not
really?
watching this. Chargers destroyed the Patriots 40-7. Justin Herbert, 3 more touchdown passes. He's having a really great season.
He is.
Broncos lose to the Bengals. Did you watch any of this game?
Broncos and Bengals.
Bengals was on Saturday, went to overtime.
I tried watching some of it. Yes, I watched.
This
Yes,
So my mother-in-law was in town.
that's why I asked you. I was like, "Who did I pick in this game?" Because I was.
Yep. And at a point, the Broncos were running away with it, or the Bengals were running away with it. The Broncos come back, and they're fighting back and forth. I could not believe that overtime. The Bengals get the ball. Not just doink, but it was like
The hardest doink.
It was
Yeah.
it was the
Brilliant.
squarest. It was like Ken Griffey Jr. getting a hold of a pitch square
Yes,
right into that upright.
It doinked hard.
But then the Broncos, they needed to tie to clinch the playoff spot. All they had to do was just run clock. Because there was like 5 minutes left. Run clock and then punt it down to the opposite end of the field, or maybe get some first downs, because you only get 2 timeouts in overtime. So just do it. What do they do? Pass, punt. Give it back to Joe Burrow with like 2:20 left. And there's a 2-minute warning in overtime too. So they
Yes.
had technically 3
Too much time.
timeouts.
Way too much time.
And they're like, well, we're just going to score a touchdown here. Why not? T. Higgins is super good. Man, he had a great game. That dude's getting paid in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase is getting paid. Do you think the Bengals are like kicking themselves in the ass every time Jamar Chase does something amazing on the field all season?
No, they knew what it was. They knew what it was.
They're gonna have to pay him more than Justin Jefferson.
Yes, they knew what it was.
Then
They could've-
why haven't they been paying him?
Because they didn't want to. So Jamar Chase basically said he didn't want to get another contract until JJ's got done. Like, they probably was offering him tons of deals. He was like, "Nah, I'm all right.
I want to see what the market is.
I want to see what the market is." And then not only did he see it, he saw it and said, "I'm just going to have a triple crown this year."
Yeah, I'm gonna be the best receiver on the planet this year.
It should be the easiest negotiation
Yeah.
on the planet. It goes like this. Here, Jamar, write a number down on a piece of paper. Please don't be too rough.
Yes.
And whatever it is, we'll sign it.
He's going to get like $100 million at signing. It's going to be so insane. They're going to be like, here you go, because it's going to be a lot of guaranteed money. I don't know how
Yes.
it can't be.
No, remember who was it? Wasn't it Tariq Hill that got one of those contracts that was a lot of guaranteed money? I think it
Mm,
was. I can't remember, but yeah,
probably.
it's gonna be a lot of
It's gonna be a
guaranteed money.
lot of guaranteed money, and there's gonna be a big signing bonus, probably like a $65 million signing bonus, and they're gonna give him a $65 million check, and he's gonna walk out of there. Well, I'm sure they don't give him checks anymore. They probably just. Can you imagine waiting, like refreshing your bank to wait for that six? So I get an email from my bank when there's a
Well,
deposit,
yes.
right? Like over $1. Can you imagine getting that email? $65 million was just added to your account.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine that?
Oh no, I can't.
Sick. Rams beat the Cardinals, clinched their division.
Hmm.
Nothing that the Seahawks can do. Seahawks stayed alive by beating the Bears 6-3. But nothing
Yeah.
they can do now because strength of win. Rams get that. Bills. I love saying mollywopped. Mollywopped the Jets. The Jets are embarrassing. They are an embarrassment to football. That's my only saving grace for the season.
Listen, as a Giants fan, it's the same way. It's
You
the
thank
same
God for the
way.
Jets.
It's the same way. Because no one expected the Giants to be good.
No.
There were people talking Jets Super Bowl.
Yes, they were for 2 straight seasons. Two straight.
Legitimately. Like
Yes.
they weren't joking. Like
No.
if I'd have said Giants Super Bowl, everyone ha ha ha, ha
Yeah.
laughing.
Homer. Yeah.
They were having legit talks
Yes.
about can they win with this, and for them to have failed in the fashion that they have failed
It's so amazing.
by losing, firing their head coach,
Yes.
going out and getting whoever Aaron Rodgers told him. In this
Yes.
case, Devontae Adams, not a bad pick, but still, we know why you got the pick. It
Yes.
wasn't. Then to fire their general manager,
Yes.
they demoted Nathaniel Hackett.
Yes.
Like he was no longer even calling plays
No.
anymore.
No.
It's the articles coming out about not getting players because of their Madden
Yep.
rating,
Yep.
and teenage sons telling them not to pay.
Yes.
All the things going on. How could they not be the worst team in
That's
the
why I love it.
federation?
That's why I see people like the Bears are the worst franchise in football. You forgot about the Jets. The Jets exist.
They do.
And followed closely by the Browns. Those two teams still exist in the world. So the Bears are still not the worst franchise in all of football.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders beat the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Allen had a nice game for the Bills too. But I mean, when they put up 40, everybody has a nice game. Raiders beat the
Yeah.
Saints 25-10. Who cares? Giants, we talked about them. Everyone had a nice game for the Giants 45-33. Nothing wrong there. Colts' hopes of playoffs destroyed.
That's the best
Eagles.
part. That's the best
Yes.
part about that. I'm not an anti-Colts fan, but anytime you get the
You be
chance
spoiler? Yep.
to be spoiler, it's fun.
Yeah, if you're going to be bad, at least be a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles don't get spoiled. The Cowboys.
Oh, oh my! Did you hear? Did you hear Micah Parsons?
No. What did he say?
I I'm hoping that it was an ad lib and I just got caught up in some AI, but I don't think it was.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about the score. I really did double check this before I say it, but from what I heard, he was saying how really it was only 5 plays that they had that beat them. The defense was doing their thing all
The
day.
5 touchdowns?
Yes,
Because they scored 5 touchdowns.
Yes, it's really those were all big plays or plays where they messed up. Really, the defense had them shut down for most of the game,
Except for
except
5
plays. He said 5 plays specifically.
Well,
And
they scored 5 touchdowns with Kenny Pickett, right? I think one was a defensive score, though. So,
yeah, pick 6 early.
yeah. Even Tanner McKee, whoever that is, came in and went 3 for 4 with 2 touchdowns.
He did. He did.
And Saquon had 167 on the ground to get him to 2,005 yards.
I'm going to let me see if I'm going to see. He did say it, so I wasn't just making it up. I will send you the chat so you can see what he said. If you take away the scoreboard, it was really about 5 plays that decided the game.
Yeah. And that's all it takes.
I thought it was fake. You just lost 41-7.
Yes.
I don't want to hear anything except they got us. We put up a dud this way. We got to be better. Season's over. We got a chance to think about it next year.
Yes.
Don't sit there and try to defend your
Yeah. Don't act
41-7.
like it was a flip of a coin that kept you from. If it wasn't for the slimmest of margins, no, you lost.
It wasn't for them beating us
Yes, you
unmercifully.
lost by 5 scores, which is a lot. A
Yeah, and
lot.
Saquon went for 160 on them,
Yep.
meaning he only had to go for 100 on us.
Saquon's sitting at. I want to know what your opinion is on this. He's sitting
Hmm.
at 2,005 yards,
Yes.
5.8 a carry,
Hmm.
which is insane. I'm going to pull up Eric Dickerson's. Eric
It was
Dickerson.
more. It was,
It was more yards, but I don't think the per carry was there. Let me look. Eric Dickerson, when he had 2105, ooh, 5.6, very close. 379 attempts. Saquon's at 345 attempts.
Wait,
So
30 attempts less?
30 attempts less,
That's
100
a whole
yards.
game.
Yeah, exactly. That's why everybody's like, Saquon would have had it in 17 games. Asterisk. No, you don't asterisk things. The way that things are, they change, right?
Hmm.
But Saquon's averaging 5.8 a carry, which is nuts. And Dickerson's was 5.6 a carry, which is nuts as well. But
Yeah,
Saquon's is more nuts.
it is.
Saquon's at 131.6 a game. Or I'm sorry, that was Eric Dickerson 131.6 a game. I don't know what Saquon's is a game. Looking at it, it's a lot though. It's 120 something, I think. But yeah, but the Eagles are sitting him this week.
Yeah.
So the chance for Dickerson's record, probably like one of the coolest records I think left in football, right?
Hmm.
Because I don't think Jerry Rice's records ever gonna get touched
Never gonna get touched.
of all time rushing yards. But I don't know if Emmitt Smith's will be touched either. But there's a chance. But like that 2105 in a season, like only a handful of people have had
Have
2,000 yards
touched
in a
it.
season.
But we've seen a bunch. In the last 20 years, we saw Chris Johnson. We saw Adrian Peterson. We've seen Derrick Henry get close.
Derrick Henry got it.
Derrick
Yep.
Henry did get it.
Yep. Derrick Henry had 2027 in 2020.
So like it's
One, two, three.
people are flirting with it. They're flirting with it.
There's been 9 seasons of 2,000 yards. OJ was the first one to do it in like 6 games. In 1973, he had 2,003 rushing yards. And then after that, it wasn't until after 73, it wasn't until Eric Dickerson in 84 to be the next one. And he had 2105. And then, yeah, you're right. So 97 with Barry Sanders, 98 with Terrell Davis, and everything else has been in the last 20 years. But
They're
no,
flirting with it.
the closest to Eric Dickerson's was Adrian Peterson in 2097.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon is within
Would have had it.
100 yards.
He would have had it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. It's a if you're resting players,
Yes.
and this is another thing. If you're gonna rest players, including your offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
that might be banged up and might need a rest.
Yes.
The offensive line was gonna go out there if Saquon needed to break that record.
Yes.
Right. And this is what the thing was. The O line was basically not the ones that made it. I think the coach it was the coach's decision. But the offensive line said, listen, if Saquon wants the record, we're going out there. I know that means we'd rather not go out there.
Yeah.
please let us rest.
I know you don't want anyone to get hurt. Like, I get that.
Yes. But you kind of wonder. You kind of
Man, he's so
Saquon-
close.
Saquon was very humble. I heard what he said. He said, he's like, the coach came to me and the coach asked me, what did I want to do? Right. And he's like, I was off iffy about it, something like that. And then he was like, the coach came back and said, we're thinking about sitting you down and not doing it. And he didn't complain about it. He said, my family wanted it way more than I did. I'm like, did they?
That's tough, man. That is football immortality because he's not his career has not been one of like, oh, future Hall of Famer. Like you don't say it, but this is something where it's like it might not ever get touched after him, even with
Hmm.
17 games. Just the way they play just the way the football is played now,
Yeah.
with running backs and stuff like that.
No, but the way that is barring injury, he may have just touched the tip of the iceberg in Philly.
Yeah, that's true.
To be perfectly honest with you, just because of the way that they block and they've been, like I said, when we talked about it when they got him,
Yeah,
I didn't see this. I should have seen this because they had guys averaging 5 yards a carry who aren't half as good as Saquon
yes,
Barkley.
yeah,
They had Miles Sanders, they had Swift, they
yep.
had whatever running back, insert running back here, he averaged 5 yards a carry
And they
in
weren't a
that
feature. They
uniform.
were just like
Just
one
a guy.
tenth of the offense, where
One
Saquon is the feature element of the
yes.
offense.
They've had guys average 5 yards a carry. They just didn't give them the ball as many
No,
times
just
as they're
yeah,
giving Saquon.
because he didn't need to.
So, to be perfectly honest with you, with Saquon there, and this may not be the first time, barring injury.
Oh, well, now to say to get 2,000 yards, that's tough. No one's ever done
Why?
that.
Why? Why couldn't he?
Well, no one's ever done it. One, two. Derrick Henry is
He's flirting.
he's flirting.
He's
Derrick
flirting.
Henry
He
needs
needs 200.
217 yards.
Not out of the realm of
It is not. You're right. It's not. That was my next question. Can Derrick Henry be the first two-time 2,000-yard rusher?
And you know what's crazy? If he did it, he'd do it on less carries than Saquon.
Oh, really?
His 40 carries beyond Saquon right now. 40. There's no way to give him 40 carries next week.
Yeah, he's averaging 5.8 a carry too, which is nutso. That's so much.
It's a lot. I just think in the right system, these guys, barring injury, are good enough to do it.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to tackle them.
No.
Nobody wants to tackle them. I don't think the league is built the way it used to be to stop those running backs. But that's the reason why, right? So when the running backs was going crazy and they handled the ball 30, 40 times a game and every team had those hard-nosed runners, you needed big, thick linebackers to be able to tackle those guys.
Yep.
So then you had an era of big, thick linebackers. Well, then tight ends started going crazy. You needed faster linebackers. You needed safeties and speed. The NFL is not built to stop guys like Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley and the rest of them too. Because if you go down the list of running backs, Saquon at 2,000, Derrick Henry 1,700, Kyron Williams at 13, Bijan at basically 13, Josh Jacobs at 1,285. The league is not ready. They can't stop these guys anymore.
No.
Like this, they're just not built in there. They're built to stop the running quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have speed out there. Those linebackers with speed, they're not built to tackle these guys anymore. It's just not there. Now we may see a change again, but just looking at the running back numbers, I haven't seen running backs numbers like this.
Yeah, this has been a really good year for running backs.
In years.
I love it. Derrick Henry has had 6 200-yard games in his career.
Mm-hmm.
None this season. So they're all with Tennessee. He's had a 250-yard game, a 238-yard game, a 219-yard game. Those three would give him to 2,000 yards. Everything else is 215, 212, 211. His longest run of this season,
87 yards.
longest run, but like the biggest game of this season was 199 against Buffalo, and that was at the beginning of the season, like 929. So his biggest game goes, yeah.
If they give him the ball and he breaks one of those long runs early in the game,
they're
just
going to try
to just hand him the ball.
Yeah, and they're playing.
And you don't think
the Browns?
You don't think he wants to? You don't think? See, I'm gonna tell you that would be the worst thing that could happen to Saquon. Now, Saquon being an Eagle, I'm not wishing that upon him. I am not wishing
Derrick Henry
that Derrick Henry
yards
takes the rushing yards. I'm not wishing that on him. Nope, I'm not gonna do that. I like the man too much.
Yeah,
because he said all he really wanted was the rushing record. That's what he said early in the season. I just want the rushing record. I never had it. want the rushing title.
Yeah,
If Derrick Henry goes out there and snakes the rushing title from Saquon Barkley, that would hurt.
that would hurt. You're right.
That would hurt.
Well, you know what? We'll know.
Saturday? Did he play
We'll
Saturday?
we'll know Saturday at about 6:30
Oh,
what's
okay.
going to happen.
If he knows in advance, he'll go back out and play on Sunday.
Yeah,
He will play on Sunday.
yeah, they might
So,
do
all
a
right.
reversal there.
There you go. He may not play the whole game. He
I
may not play the whole game. You
yeah,
think
I don't know when you have to list your sits and stuff like that. I know it's at least by Sunday morning, so I don't know.
he'll know? See, that helps him. That helps because I bet if he went out there Sunday and he was no longer winning the Russian title,
Mhm.
they'd play him.
Yeah,
You'd have to play him. You could not give him. You could not let him end his season like that.
that would be
Couldn't.
tough. Derrick Henry would have to have an just an unbelievable game, right?
Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry game.
Which is not out of the realm of possibility. Totally
Mm-mm.
doable for Derrick Henry.
They're playing the Browns.
They're playing the Browns. The Browns have
Oh,
been really
in
bad.
Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yeah.
Oh, it could
There's
be,
a
it could be
there's a
ugly.
chance
It could be ugly.
by 6 or 7 o'clock.
Oh, Saquon is calling up Nick
Yeah.
Sirianni like, I gotta play.
Yeah, you better reverse my designation for Sunday to out to a definite.
Doubtful. Maybe just put a Q next to his name
Yeah,
for right
questionable,
now.
yeah.
Just put a Q.
Just in case. Yeah, that would be nuts. That would be a very cool. I mean, it wouldn't be a cool story to have happen, but I really wanted to see Saquon get that record because
I didn't want to see it against the Giants.
yeah, I know you
I
didn't.
didn't want to see it against the Giants.
He would have one. He would have had like a 270-yard game last week to do it in 16,
I know.
which would have been nuts too. But yeah, like he's just having a great. He's like one of the good stories of the football year.
Mhm.
Like, really happy for him.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, mollywhopped the Panthers. So many 40-point games this week. And one of them was from the Giants. So
From
you
the
got that.
Giants.
The Chargers put up 40. The Chargers put up 40. The Bills put up 40. The Giants put up 40. The Eagles put up 40. The Buccaneers put up 40. Just embarrassed the Panthers. Baker Mayfield throws 5 touchdowns. Come on. And I've seen people talk about Baker Mayfield needs to be in the MVP conversation. I've seen that said. When you
No.
think about where
No.
the Buccaneers were, they didn't have Mike. We got to do the Mike Evans watch.
I just saw the article on NFL.com. Baker says, Mayfield on Evans chase for 11th 1K yards. If we win, Mike is getting the record. So I don't know what that
He's
means.
85 yards away.
85, he'll have it.
He's 85 yards away. 65 receptions, 915 yards, 11 touchdowns. Man, he's just a touchdown machine.
Oh, apparently, Jerry Rice has the record for most consecutive 1,000 yard
Yeah.
seasons.
Is Jerry Rice complaining because they have 17 games now? Even though Mike Evans was out,
A bunch, probably.
he missed 5 games, right? 4 games?
Yeah, he'd have it by now if he did.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
yeah, for sure.
And if he gets it, his 11th season, this year, he'd just be tying Jerry Rice. He'd need another year to actually.
Well,
beat
Mike
Jerry.
Evans is the first to ever do it in his first 11 years. Jerry Rice
Mhm.
just did him in 11
11
years.
consecutive years.
Yeah.
He has the record for 11 straight or 12.
Well, Mike
most-
Evans has a record for the most consecutive seasons
Unbroken, yes.
to start your career.
Yes.
At 10, this would be
Mhm.
11. He just keeps building onto that record. But Jerry
Yes.
Rice was 11 straight 1,000-yard.
Probably after his rookie year, he went 1,000 straight for 11, 12 years straight.
Mike Evans, 85 yards away. He's going to get it. I hope.
Yeah.
The Jags and Titans played. The Browns and Dolphins played. Dolphins won. Vikings and the
The
Packers.
Jags and Titans played. They
Yeah.
played. Things happen.
Yeah, who cares?
Well, listen, I care.
The
I was
Jag,
watching that. I was watching that game because I really wanted the Jags to win.
you want
Not
the
the Jags,
Jags
the
to win?
Titans. The Titans to win.
Yeah, I had the Jags in that game.
I
Yep.
wanted the Titans to
Yeah.
win because the Titans need a
Oh,
quarterback. The
yeah.
Jags don't.
Yes. Yeah, you
So,
need the Titans to fall behind the Giants.
exactly. That's the only reason why I picked them in the pick 'em. Just
Dolphins beat the Browns. Vikings beat the Packers. Packers came back in the fourth quarter and made it close. Don't matter. Vikings win 27-25. The Vikings are 14-2. The
mhm.
Vikings are going to play the Lions, who are now also 14-2 because they beat the 49ers on Monday.
Didn't matter. I was seeing things that said it didn't matter.
They did
That they could have sat their players because it was all coming down
to
to
this
this.
game, right?
Yep.
Because if the Vikings win, they have home field advantage, the number one seed. If the Lions win, they have number one seed and home field advantage.
Uh-huh.
It don't yeah, the Lions could have lost that game, been 13-3 coming into this game, and they both would have been 14-3,
14-3. Yep.
but the Lions would have beat the Vikings twice.
Yeah. So it didn't matter. And when I heard that, I was like, oh no, I don't want to watch the Enigma. Please.
But you know the Lions. Dan Campbell's not
Yes.
going to arrest anybody.
No, he's running no hook and ladder out there on them.
That was a hell of a play on like 3rd and 9 or something like that, or 3rd and 13. It's like,
Mhm.
come on, coach the Bears. The Commanders beat the Falcons in overtime.
Mhm.
Michael Penix Jr. got his first taste of Falcondom. Lots
That's the
of
second taste.
oh,
Second
it's
taste of
true, but
Falcon.
his first true taste of being like they pissed away that game. I think. Uh,
Now it gets to really feel like what it is to be a Falcon.
now he's truly a Falcon. And then the Lions of Jane Daniels. We already talked to him. What an amazing rookie year so far. Good for him. Lions and the 49ers. I thought the 49ers were going to win that game. I was like, oh man, I'm a genius.
So did
And
I. So
and
did I.
Lions just like, oh, we're going to win this game. No big deal. They won by in a full touchdown. So good for them. Lions 14-2. There's going to be a 14-win team that's a wild card.
Mhm. Yep.
They're going to play a road playoff game, and they're going to play the Bucks
Oh no,
or the Rams. One of the
probably
two.
the Rams.
Well, I
Is
mean, the
it the
Falcons can
Rams?
still win that division.
They still can win even after the
Yes.
loss.
Yes.
Mm.
Yep.
Because let me look at the playoff standings now.
Because they would
Playoff
be
picture.
the fifth seed, so they would play the third seed, right?
Two would play
Or the
the
fourth seed.
two would play seven. So right now it would be Eagles. So five would play six, and that would be Vikings Commanders.
Why would five play six? No, five would play
Where's
four.
four at? I don't see
Yeah,
four.
five would play four because
Four's not in this. Oh,
four.
because four's the division champion. Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
four is the division
I was like,
champion.
why did I see four in this list? So four would play five.
So there's gonna be a 14-win
Yeah,
wild
so
card team going
yeah,
on the road to probably play the Bucks or
the
the Rams.
Bucks.
One of those two.
Yeah,
And once you're on the
yeah.
road, anything weird can happen. It's gonna be iffy and weird and strange. I have a feeling.
It could be Atlanta, which would be
Whatever 14-win team because I can
yeah,
beat whatever team is on there. But I don't
yeah.
want to go to Tampa Bay to face Baker and that mess. You never
Nope,
know what's going to happen with them.
nope, nope.
Baker
You don't
just
want
throws
that.
touchdowns.
You do not want that.
No, you don't want that.
I do want this Eagles Packers though. I do want the Packers to crush the Eagles in
That's
the
not going to
first
happen.
round of the playoffs.
Not going to happen. Will not happen. I can assure you of that. So that leaves us with a lot of interesting things coming into this week. So we know the Chiefs are sitting everybody.
Yes.
I don't think the Bills have anything to play for this week. Are the numbers?
The Bills are 13. Nope, they have nothing to play for.
Are the
No one can
numbers?
no one can catch them. Other than others. But I still don't. They could probably put anyone out there and still beat New England.
Yes.
I'd hope that they don't, though. I do hope New England loses.
You want them to lose?
I mean, I want them to win. I do hope New England wins.
Okay. So you want New England to pull off the win against the Bills?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if that can happen.
It's not going to happen.
I don't
It's
think it
not going
can.
to
I
happen.
don't think it can. Like it would have to be some catastrophic event. Uh, you got the
Who they beat early in the season? It was like Cincinnati.
yes,
They beat Cincinnati early. Why can't it happen? Drake
yeah.
Magic.
Drake Magic, huh? Is that his nickname?
As I just gave that one.
Magic. Drake Magic.
Yes.
So you got the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Broncos all fighting for that last playoff spot. Now the Broncos could have clinched it 2 weeks ago and didn't beat the Chargers, and they could have clinched it this week if they could have just figured out how to run out a clock in overtime. They couldn't do that either. So
Yeah, because
now
the tie would have given it to them as well.
yes, exactly. Right? They just needed a tie. Didn't get it. So I love the idea of the Broncos not making it because I do not like Sean Payton. So the Broncos not making the playoffs is delicious to me. The Bengals or the Dolphins, fine. Bengals is more exciting. Dolphins is more hilarious. Whatever happens, I'm all for it. That happens this week. Packers have nothing to play for this week. Falcons have everything to play for this week. They have to win, and I think they have to win, and the Bucks have to lose for that to happen. Because then they'll both be 9-8, and then the Falcons will win that. Commanders
Packers
have
is playing. Packers is playing so that they don't have to face the Eagles.
oh, are they?
Well,
Well,
they're
oh, 'cause
11
the
and
Commanders
5,
are
and the
11 and
Commanders
5
are 11
too.
and 5 as well.
That's interesting.
The loser of whoever comes in last has to play the Eagles week 1.
That's tough. And then your option is either the Bucks or the Rams, depending on.
Sure. I'll
Yeah.
take that.
Yeah, if you have to go on the road, you'd rather go not to Philadelphia.
Not to Philadelphia. LA's not a bad place.
Yeah.
I think LA.
Yep. So the Falcons, the Packers, the Falcons, the Commanders, and the Bucks are all playing for something this week. And what's funny is they all play terrible teams. The Packers are playing the Bears. The Falcons are playing the Panthers. The Commanders are playing the Cowboys.
The Falcons will lose to Carolina.
And the Bucks are playing the Saints. There's a lot of good playing bad. So that's happening this week. And then you got the big one, the granddaddy of them all, the Vikings and the Lions. Winner take all pretty much on that one.
Yep. Is that a Monday the game?
No, that is Sunday night. All games will be done by Sunday.
Oh yeah, they don't play Monday nights.
They don't play any more Monday nights after this. No Thursday night game this week. No Monday night game this week.
Just Saturday game.
Saturday and everything's else on Sunday. So let's do it. Let's go down this list. The Ravens host the Browns. Ravens, you ready for this line? 17.5-point favorites.
That sounds about right.
17.5.
I'm picking the Ravens.
Okay. So I had to hear you say it. Now, I didn't talk about what happened last week.
Uh-huh.
I went 12-4. You went 11-5. I am up one game, 162-91 to 161-92. So I think
you should pick first.
I should pick first and everything. I'm picking Ravens. That one's easy.
Okay.
Steelers Bengals. This is an interesting one. It's in Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm taking the Steelers. Then.
Cincinnati are favorites, 1.5-point favorites.
They need it. It could be halftime, and the Steelers are losing. They just sit everyone. They don't really need it.
Yeah. So.
And they would know their fate going into it because the Ravens already. I don't like that. But Jess, I'm still picking the Steelers.
And they might run.
Why do I pick the Steelers?
They might run Justin Fields out there and put up 40 somehow.
They're gonna run Justin Fields out, but he's got Justin Fields versus a Bengals team that actually has something to play for.
But the defense is absolutely terrible.
They are, but see, I feel like that's the reason why people are picking the Bengals, and I've got to now pick the Bengals just to keep up with you.
Are you taking the Bengals?
Because the game doesn't matter for the Steelers after the 3:00. After the 3:00 game, it doesn't matter.
All right, who are you taking?
I'm picking the Bengals.
All right, reversal of fortune. Oops.
I have to do that. That's just strategy. I don't want to watch this movie.
All right. So then we go to Lambeau Field at noon on Sunday, where the Bears come in as 10-point dogs. Since I'm picking first, here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
The Bears are going to win.
Okay.
Because they're not going to go out on an 11-game losing streak. They can't. They just can't do that to me. And the Bears haven't won in Lambeau in like 10 years. So now here's the perfect opportunity to go out there and do it. This is Caleb's first game in Lambeau Field. The Bears get to play spoiler.
Oh, no. Spoilers.
Yeah, if the Packers lose, they get to face the Eagles.
Listen, all I'm saying is the Packers have something to play for. If they had nothing to play for, they'd start their entire team because they're going up against the Bears.
I'm just saying that the Bears are going to win this game.
I'm thinking the Packers.
All right, I knew you were. Then we have the Giants going, what is it, about like 80 miles west?
Not far
to the Eagles. Eagles are only 2.5-point favorites, but it's also been said that the Eagles are not playing anybody.
They're not. They're running third strings.
Yes, the Giants don't want to win this game.
They don't want to win.
But I think the Giants are going to win this game.
They might win this game. I
Yes.
don't want to win this game. Oh my God, you're gonna make me pick against my team. I don't want to. No, I got to pick the Giants. They're gonna win.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna make fun of my friend. He's gonna call me stupid. Because also, wait, the Giants have also never finished 0 in the division.
Ooh.
If they lose to the Eagles,
That's intrigue right there.
they will also be 0 for the entire division for the first time in it. I don't know if it's history, but probably since.
I just realized that if the Bears lose to the Packers, they will go 0 for the division.
Oh no!
And then you see all the King of the North memes.
Oh no!
We're going to take the North and never give it back. Blah, blah, blah.
Y'all said it.
That's the thing. He said it on the day he was hired. He was taking over one of the worst rosters in all of football. His goal was to turn the team around. It's getting there.
He's just saying that.
What are you supposed to say? I hope we do okay.
Well, you don't have to just go in there, King of the North.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. Dumbass Bears fans anointed him Chef Poles, King of the North. Let Chef Poles cook. Ugh. The Falcons host the Panthers. Falcons have to win this game. They're 7.5-point favorites. Michael Penix Jr. is going out there. Bryce Young, I bet you he wants to win this game really bad.
Yep.
I'm picking first. I'm picking the Falcons.
I'm picking the Panthers. I said it earlier. I'm picking the Panthers.
Yeah. It's not a bad pick.
I think the Falcons, you thought that last week was Penix welcome to Atlanta. This is it. When they have a chance in the playoffs and they lose to one of the worst teams in the NFL.
It very well could be. You're right. So I saw somebody say that signing Kirk Cousins was the quarterback signing equivalent of 28-6 or whatever, 23.
Oh, 28-20. Oh no.
Yeah.
See, people will find any way to bring that back up. But
I know.
The Falcons.
Because they should have won that Super Bowl. That's why.
They should have.
The Commanders go to Dallas for the Cowboys to finish up the season. Commanders are 11-5. What a great season for them. Cowboys 7-9. Washington are 4.5-point favorites.
This is a tough one.
Commanders need to win this game too. I'm taking the Commanders.
Commanders do need to win this game. Oh, God. I'm taking the Cowboys. Wait, no,
pick.
CeeDee Lamb's not playing anymore. They
No,
sat him down for the rest of the year. I'm taking the Commanders. Switch. I forgot CeeDee Lamb's not playing. They're not at their full roster.
Maybe the Commanders will have 5 or 6 plays that'll make the difference, and they're all touchdowns.
I just don't see, without CeeDee Lamb, I don't see where they get their offense from.
I don't know either.
And that's the problem. They only scored 7 points. 7 points against the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And Eagles really haven't been playing for anything for like the last 2-3 weeks.
No.
So
Titans host the Texans. Texans have nothing to play for. They are going to be the 4th seed no matter what happens. They are 9-7. The Titans are 3-13. Tennessee are currently 1-point favorites in this game. The Texans, I feel, are a mess. I'm taking the Titans in this game.
I'm taking the Titans only because I need them to win. I need them to win.
And the Giants are going to win too. So whatever this is
No,
make.
yes, that's true. That's true, but I need them to win.
Colts host the Jags. Neither team cares about anything. We care about nothing, Lebowski.
Who's going to play? Is it going to be Flacco or is it going to be...
They're hoping Anthony Richardson's healthy enough to play. What's the point? The Colts are 5-point favorites in this.
In Indy.
In Indy, I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick.
The Jags are just a mess of a team.
The Jags, they lost to... No, they won last week.
Yes, they beat Tennessee last week.
They'll win again, Jags.
Wow. Got to go out there and hope the Jags win. Here's a fun one. Patriots hosting the Bills. The Bills aren't running anybody out there.
I need the Patriots to win, but I'm not dumb enough to...
Buffalo are still 2.5-point favorites on the road with second and third string guys.
Who do you have?
I'm taking the Patriots in this one.
Really?
Because it's a game where it just feels like it doesn't matter. The Patriots will find it. It'll be like 13-7. It's not going to be a very good game.
I honestly think the Bills' backups are better than the Patriots starters. I'm going to pick the Bills.
I don't blame you. Buccaneers have everything to play for. They're hosting the Saints. They're 13.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Buccaneers.
I'm taking the Buccaneers as well.
Good choice. The Chiefs go on the road. The 15-1 Chiefs go on the road to the Denver Broncos. Carson Wentz led Chiefs. On the road to the Broncos. The Broncos have to win this game. They've had to win the last 2 games. Here's the thing. The Broncos are 10.5-point favorites. I said I'm not taking any more dogs, but I'm taking the Chiefs.
I am taking the Chiefs with you.
You're taking the Chiefs too?
I am taking it. I don't think the Broncos, I think they're going to mess something up.
I love it. I love the idea of the Broncos just collapsing like that. I love it.
Yeah, I don't. Wentz is not a bad quarterback. It's not like they'll
be fine.
They'll be fine. They're probably still going to run Kareem Hunt out there as running back.
Yep.
Kelsey might not play. The offensive line is probably going to play. They've got wide receivers who are probably going to play. Like they're young. Xavier Worthy's good. Yeah, Xavier Worthy's young. He's going to play.
Oh yeah, it might be a Xavier Worthy game where he just like has like 200 yards on the ground probably.
So, yeah, I don't. I could see them losing.
I love the idea of them losing. I just love it. It sounds so much fun. The Chargers go on the road. 10-6 Chargers, playoff bound Chargers go to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. The Chargers are 5-point favorites. I don't know who's playing. I just picking the Chargers.
Yeah, that's a good easy pick. Even though the Raiders are on a 2-game winning streak, you didn't forgot to mention that.
Yeah, well, that's easy to forget. The Rams are resting everybody. They've won their division. They're running Jimmy G out there. I imagine Kyron's going to sit. I imagine Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua are going to sit. Rams host the Seahawks. Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites on the road.
These are the worst games to pick.
I don't know what the Seahawks are going to do. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got to take the Seahawks as well, just because the Rams don't care. They just don't care. At least the Seahawks are still playing just to not be suckers.
So the Broncos are playing at 325. The Dolphins are also playing at 325. They go to New York to face the Jets. Dolphins need to win this game because if the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, the Dolphins are in the playoffs. The Dolphins are 8-8. Jets are 4-12. Miami are 1-point favorites on the road. I'm taking the Dolphins.
I'm taking the Jets.
Enjoy.
I'm hoping this is his last game of his career, and at least he goes out with a bang.
Oh, I love that idea. Last game of his career, and he goes out and lays a big egg. I love that idea.
He can't lay a bigger egg than he laid last week. That thing was
He's
bad.
done nothing but lay eggs all year.
He had a good game the week before.
He's had a few, yeah. But
Yeah.
he's laid eggs for the majority of the season.
The majority of the season, yes.
Then we have the Cardinals hosting the 49ers.
This one's tough. Neither team has anything to play for.
Which of these teams will be the bottom of the AFC West? If the 49ers...
Wait a minute. Wait. What's crazy is you had the Arizona winning the West.
Yes, I did.
I had the 49ers winning the West.
Yes. Right now, I'm closer to being correct because the Cardinals were 7-9. The 49ers are 6-10. The 49ers are like 1-7 since Joey Bosa ran out there with his hat on, and I like that. I'm taking the Cardinals. They're 4-point favorites.
I'm picking the San Francisco 49ers. I picked them to win. They probably won't, but I picked them to win, so I'm going. And Purdy still needs to show them that he needs to get paid. If they're even doubting it, he needs to go out there and have a 400-yard passing game, 3 touchdowns, 400 yards. Pay me, and then throw up the Mayfield money signs. That wasn't Baker.
Here's the deal: we have 6 different games. We've chose 6 different so far. I have the obvious Bears beating the Packers.
Yeah.
You took the Panthers over the Falcons.
I did.
You took the Jags over the Colts.
I did. That seems dumb. Now,
Yeah, you took the Bills over the Patriots, which is probably the thing. And then you took the Jets over the Dolphins and the Niners over the Cardinals. Yes. Now we're down to we're waiting all day for Monday night. which might be the only time it's been that accurate. The Vikings go to Detroit. The 14-2 Vikings go to the 14-2 Lions. Detroit are 3-point favorites. This is a tough one to pick.
This is tough
because I see a valid argument for both.
Dan Campbell completely.
And God, it would be so. To me, that's the most hilarious thing. I'm going for funny Vikings because then the Lions have to go on the road. I don't know. It's hard to count out Justin Jefferson and the Vikings offense. The Detroit defense has not been that great because they're very hurt. They're banged up. The Vikings can put up points. The Lions can put up points. The Vikings defense can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but to the Lions offense?
Lions offensive line is so good. So it's tough. But I'm thinking, it's gonna come down to some last second shenanigans. And it's gonna be Dan Campbell rolling the dice. Dan Campbell
in it. You very well could Dan Campbell it.
Yes. All right. I got the Vikings.
I'm going with the Lions then. We're going to mix it up right here with 7 different.
It won't really matter because I think I picked the perfect day once again. I say once again because I think that every week, not because I pick them every week, but I think once again that this is the perfect lineup. Yeah. I think the Vikings are going to do it, and then, that'll happen. Now, here, I don't know what the stipulations are for the picks and watching the Enigma. Do we end here, or do we go all the way through the playoffs?
Ooh.
I mean, we still got games to pick.
Yes. Will the Enigma be completely off of that's my worry. It'll be like just 15 more days left to watch the Enigma.
This Netflix original will be leaving Netflix 2 months after it premiered.
No, we can go to the playoffs. Yes, that makes the playoffs very interesting.
So
that makes us having to pick very interesting because we're just like, I'm down 7 because I could be down 8.
Yes, yeah. You might have to like pick opposite
everything you pick, whatever you pick. Yep. Yeah,
very possible. Also possible, it comes down to the Super Bowl, and we have to choose opposite sides.
Mm.
I still had the Bills Detroit Super Bowl was my pick for the beginning of the season.
I had Green Bay Ravens, right?
I gotta look it up. Season predictions: Ravens and Packers. Yes, and
Yeah.
Ravens winning.
I still have mine. It's still available as well too.
I like that. I'm not mad at that if that happens. I had Bills and Lions with the Bills winning. Either way, we had the AFC. MVP, we'll just rehash it real fast. MVP, you had Patrick Mahomes. I had Kyler Murray. Offensive Player of the Year, you had Garrett.
Kyler Murray.
Listen,
Now that the seasons are being played out, I can laugh.
it's funny. Here's Offensive Player of the Year. I had Saquon Barkley. You had Garrett Wilson.
Was I feeling the hype of
Clearly, you were. Offensive Player of the Year, or that was Defensive Player of the Year. You had Brian Burns. I had Myles Garrett.
Neither one of them was going to
Now, here's the stuff we can see. Coach of the Year, you had Raheem Morris,
be it.
which doesn't happen. I had the mighty Matt Eberflus. Because if the Bears were good, how could he not?
I win. My guy's still coaching. My guy still has a
That's
job.
true. Now, Comeback Player of the Year, you had Daniel Jones.
You had Saquon Barkley, right?
I know. I had Ryan Tannehill because he's not even. He hasn't even been picked up. I was waiting for him to get picked up. I was figuring he'd be like Joe Flacco this year. He gets picked up with 10 games left and goes like 8-2.
Okay, I'm winning that one. Daniel Jones is still in the league. He's still
Yeah, Tannehill isn't. Offensive Rookie of the Year, you had Malik Neighbors, which isn't a bad
but
choice.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to get it.
Jaden Daniels got it. I had Caleb Williams. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, you picked Terrion Arnold, which isn't a bad pick. I chose Austin Booker because I said the last 2 years, the Offensive Rookie and the Defensive Rookie have come off the same team, so I had to find the only Defensive Rookie that the Bears had was Austin Booker, so I chose that. And then we'll do this. The East, I had the Eagles. You had the Giants. The North, you had the Packers. I had the Bears. The South, we both had the Falcons.
We still got a chance.
Still got a chance.
There's still a chance.
The West, you had the 49ers. I had the Cardinals.
Yeah, we didn't do too well that time.
The East, I had the Bills. You had the Jets.
Oh, shit.
The North, we both had the Ravens.
Okay, we got a chance.
The South, you had the Texans. I had the Colts.
I got the Texans. That they clinched.
And the West, we both had the Chiefs.
Yes. So it's close.
Yeah, but I'm better, I think, at it.
I don't think you are.
Without counting anything, I feel like I did better. I feel like I did all right. Even with Eberflus and Kyler Murray in there. Kyler Murray was...
And Tannehill didn't play one snap.
I know. Now, here's the thing, right? So the Associated Press came out and said after last year when Joe Flacco got Comeback Player of the Year,
Yeah.
they're like, you can't just come back from being bad. You have to come back from an injury or something like that, right? So Sam Darnold is the most obvious choice for Comeback Player of the Year.
But they didn't give it to Hamlin, who came back from death.
I know.
They gave it to Flacco.
I know. It should have been Hamlin who did come back from death. He went and saw death, and he played Battleship. He played Twister with Death. He did all the Bill and Ted stuff, came back, and still played, and that was
and had a decent year. Yeah, back to being a starter.
Nick Chubb came back from having his leg almost removed for the second time.
He's not very good, though.
But he got hurt again. So he could have been a comeback. Originally you were talking about Aaron Rodgers being Comeback Player of the Year, which he could have been it, but
he stunk.
I don't know who else there is to be Comeback Player of the Year. Who else came back from a major injury and has been good? Couldn't even tell you.
Nope, I can't either.
I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. All I know is I think I have like been as close to perfect as I possibly could this year.
Oh man,
162 and 91, as close as to perfect.
Man,
if I can end with under 100 wrong, that's pretty good. Considering I pick the Bears every week.
Pretty solid. Did you pick them this week too? Yeah, you said because they can't possibly go 11 wins, which would be the the best for the year because the Giants only had 10.
Yeah,
So
I know.
you're tied currently with the worst streak in the league.
It would be one. It would be one of the worst streaks in Bears history, if not the worst streak in Bears history. So, like, can't do it. Just can't do it. Uh, think it just gotta go out there and win. They gotta win something. Please win something.
It would
And
make them feel better. It would make them feel better.
I would love for Caleb to go out there and have like put up like 400 and 5 touchdowns, and they just destroy the Packers.
That would be a winning season.
Yeah, boy, there'd be so many people just ecstatic, self included.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I can watch the game, but I hope that's what happens.
Oh, you know I'm gonna watch it. I'm probably not gonna watch it.
Because
I don't have fantasy football. I won one of my leagues,
good for you.
so I don't even have fantasy football to root for. My team stinks. I'd rather them not win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably not even gonna look at the game. I'll probably just follow it on my phone just so that I don't have to watch
Yep.
them
Tank.
win and cry.
Yep. I know you know this, but I'm the draft current draft order is the Patriots, the Titans, the
Mhm.
Browns,
Yep.
the Giants. The
Right.
thing that stinks for the Giants is the Titans and the Browns are drafting
We're probably
quarterbacks.
picking quarterbacks. Yes.
What's his face? Deshaun Watson restructured his contract to spread it out. He's probably getting
Just
cut.
to cut, just to get cut.
Yeah, with a post June 1 designation is my guess. And then you got the Jags, Carolina, the Jets, the Raiders, the Bears at 9. The Bears still have an outside chance of getting a top 5 pick, so who knows? The
Will the
Saints,
Saints take a quarterback, a QB?
who?
They just took Will Levis. Maybe they want to get an offensive line around him. Maybe they like Will Levis, and maybe they just want to get more talent around him.
Will Levis had that Linsanity run of embarrassment at the beginning of the season, like 6 or 7 straight games where he did something insane.
Did you see the Pickett, the throw by Kenny Pickett
No.
this week?
No.
Oh my God!
Was it awesome?
It was. It's like, all right. So he goes to throw the ball,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody like hits him in the back of the hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't want to throw the ball because he didn't want it to look like it was going to be a fumble.
Yes.
So he does everything in his pot. He throws with all his might, but he doesn't want to release the ball. So he kind of just like flips over, like the force of him throwing the ball never leaves his hand, makes him tumble over.
That's awesome. And Kenny
It
Pickett's
looks
got those
horrible.
little Kenny Pickett hands too, right? So he held onto the ball. Good for him.
It dropped eventually, but he only held on to it because he didn't want them to think that it was fumbled.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty embarrassing.
They've lost 5 straight. The Browns lost 5 straight. New England's lost 6 straight. Giants got that win in there. Really
we're on a
mucked it
winning
up.
streak, sir.
Really
We're on a
mucked it up.
winning-
They were sitting with 2 wins in the
2
driver's pole position for that first number 1 pick.
Mhm.
I mean, think if you're the Raiders, you're sitting at 8 right now.
They won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
2 in a row. Don't do that, Giants.
And he's probably getting
Don't win
fired
2 in a
too,
row.
Antonio Pierce.
for winning 2 games.
He was getting
It's
fired
not
anyway.
his fault.
Now he's
It's
on the
not
way
his
out.
fault though.
Yeah, I know.
They've given him absolutely nothing to work
No.
with.
They definitely didn't give him a quarterback.
Nope. No quarterback, no wide receiver.
Got rid of his
They
wide
traded his
receiver.
wide receiver
Yeah,
and said go on and win games. And he did win games at the worst time.
yeah, he did do that. He did do that.
So who they playing? They might get a win this week just to piss people off.
I
They're
don't
not
remember.
getting a win.
I have to look. Yeah,
This
they're
did-
playing the Chargers.
Yeah,
You never know.
but I don't think they win.
So, after the next time we talk, we have had Black Monday.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be some firing.
There's going to be
Some
the draft
heads
order will be
rolling.
secured,
Correct.
and we'll have the first round of playoffs to talk about. That's good. That's good talking. I can't wait to talk.
And the
draft.
last time we have to talk about either one of our teams
Yes,
until the
draft time.
end of the year, and we're looking at what we need to do better.
Free agency and draft.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that because
When your team is bad, it's really all you have to look forward to.
All I can do is look back and say, man, we destroyed the Jags and the Panthers in consecutive weeks.
That's the only thing you can say.
That's all they had. They were 4-2 after destroying the Jaguars in London. They look like, oh my god, this is what an NFL offense looks like.
You haven't seen that NFL offense
It
since.
was so promising. You remember CBS flexed the game. They flexed the Bears Commanders game to the afternoon because they're like, everybody's going to watch this. No,
It was a good game.
no, it wasn't.
The Hail Mary was a solid game.
That was a terrible game. The Bears have not sniffed victory. I mean, they sniffed victory. They just have not gotten victory since then, since London.
Yeah. Y'all definitely sniffed it.
Yep.
You've had
Hail Mary.
victory smell all on you, and then someone
field
Febrezed
goal.
it off you.
Yes. Oh, no, they fire hosted off this. Hail Mary, block field goal.
Block field goal.
The comeback and then losing overtime to the Vikings. Whatever that was against the Lions on Thanksgiving.
3-6 last week. That not even is that sniffing victory? That was
You're close. You're within. You're within a score.
Close.
You're within a field goal the entire game. Entire second half. All you had to do was just like get on the other side of the 50 and have a good kicker. That's see the Bears. They have Cairo Santos, fine kicker. He just can't kick it more than 53 yards. You can't. That's not NFL.
That's not an NFL quarter kicker anymore.
Nope, he's not. He was at one point.
Had he been able to, maybe y'all don't go for it. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. That was dumb.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it at all.
We don't have to talk about it. That clock management was not good.
Yes, it was bad. It was very bad. I know.
So.
It's like they never even played a game bad in their life. Can't figure out how to use timeouts and when to run and when whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
He said that he wanted to punt the ball. That fourth down play when
Yes.
they wanted to use it, he wanted to punt the ball.
Yep.
And then somewhere along the line, he changed his mind. But he changed his mind too late, so he called the timeout to get that guy back out of the field. I was like, "Oh, that's not a good sign."
And then they converted on it.
They definitely converted on it.
That was the throw to DJ Moore.
Yep.
And that was a hell of a throw.
Good throw, good catch, got some yardage.
Then they had that one to Roma Dunze right after that, like 15 yards downfield. They're like, "Oh, the Bears might win this game."
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
And then it's like they got slightly out of their kicker's range and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Do we try for the first down or do we try to get into our kicker's range? They did not know.
Four straight incompletions. Four straight incompletions.
They didn't do anything. They didn't run the ball. They didn't get closer. They didn't do anything.
Nope. I will be very excited to have a new offense next year. One that utilizes DJ Moore more than a screen target.
I hate it. I won't pick him in fantasy again. Pick him in fantasy again. He's done.
That's all he's used for is screen plays. And when they do it, I'm just like, no, because it never amounts to anything. Like they know what's going to happen. Oh, it's to go to DJ Moore. It's a screen.
Or running the ball with him, which is even worse.
You know, the last time he caught like a substantial throw downfield, it was in London. It was a touchdown right over the middle, I believe. It was like, come on. What are we doing? It was like a 25-yarder. It was great. Like, what are we doing? We don't throw the ball down. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
Sorry about it. Sorry about that. I forgot that happened in that game, in the 3-6 game. And we didn't talk about it. So,
yeah, it was terrible. They had a chance. They were in the game the whole time. Whatever. The Bears are an embarrassment. And boy, that I had to turn off the broadcast because it was like the greatest hits of things to be mad about if you're a Chicago fan. It's like, here's some Bears shit. Here's some White Sox shit. It's like
don't throw it all in there.
It's like, hey, remember when the Bulls were good and they kept Derrick Rose on the floor? They may as well talk about everything, right?
That is a freaky stat, though. That the Seattle
Mariners beat
the
Sox 6-3. Yeah,
6-3 in the 2 games that they played them.
Yeah,
That's freaky. That's a pretty freaky stat.
Agreed. Agreed. 6-3. Great. Good stuff. Super awesome. At least they didn't bring up that the White Sox were the losingest team in baseball history.
They didn't bring that up.
I
They
mean, they
didn't.
might as well have, but they did talk about how the Bears haven't been relevant since 1985. They
They
talked about
brought
that
up.
several times.
Didn't they talk about my team in that broadcast? I was like, wait a minute, why are we catching strays?
Yeah, so you caught some strays. It was a rough broadcast, and I don't blame them. We were watching a 6-3 game.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna
You
do?
got paid to watch it.
Yeah, that's true. Like, uh, oh, and then Kirk Herbstreit said some shit like this too about Caleb. It's like, well, now Caleb's just got to go out there and prove that he wants to be here, like be the first one in, last one out, like practice hard. I'm like, what?
Is he there?
Like, like what does that mean? And he's like, I'm not saying he's not doing that now. I'm like, well, what'd you bring it up for then? It's like, I'm not saying he's a bad teammate and he's lazy, but he just needs to prove he's not a bad teammate and he's lazy. What? Where's that coming from?
Oh man, what what is Kirk Herbstreit known for?
College football?
Like not playing in the NFL?
No.
Didn't he?
He's a college football analyst.
He's an analyst too.
I'm sure he
But
plays.
didn't he play quarterback?
No, I think it was like a halfback. Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk Herbstreit, college stats. He was a quarterback. You're right.
Yes,
Ohio State quarterback.
that's what I thought.
89
What
to
happened to
92.
him in the league?
Did he get drafted? No way. No way he got drafted with these stats. His senior year, he threw for 1,900 yards and 4 touchdowns. That was probably like 1982. Who was on that team? The 92 Buckeyes. Kirk Herbstreit, Bobby Hoying.
It says nothing about his NFL career, meaning he had no NFL career.
Robert Smith was their running back
Oh, Robert Smith was good.
for the Vikings, yeah. I don't know who their top receiver was because it couldn't have been anybody. Brian Stabling, Chris Sanders, Cedric Saunders. Bunch of nobodies.
Herbstreit graduated from Ohio State in 1993 with a business administration. When that's what they tell you on your Wikipedia, you didn't do much after that.
Yeah. But he's a college guy, and
Yeah.
at least this year, I think last year too, he kind of got out of saying like talking about college stuff during the NFL broadcast because he would say stuff like, well, "In college, you got to do this," and I'm like, nobody cares.
But then you have no right to say anything about the work ethic of Caleb Williams. I'm sorry,
But
I want to hear.
it's like
I understand that's his job, but
it's like a weird out of nowhere statement. Like what like prompted this? Like that has never been in a statement or an issue anywhere
unless he's hearing it from other people, but you're tapped in.
Yeah.
You'd have heard it from someplace else also.
I would have seen the tweet or somebody would have said, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like I don't understand where that comes from. Now I will say this: Ryan Poles was interviewed before the game. This is a weekly interview for the Bears radio station or whatever, and they asked him like, "What's been the problem with closing it? Like, where's it?" And he said it started in training camp. That's what he said. I'm still firmly under the belief, and until I'm proven wrong, I'm right on this one, that he did not want Eberflus this season, but was forced to keep.
Not with that quarterback.
No.
It's rough. It's rough.
It is rough. And now I get to hear about this. This is what the Bears always do. They draft a quarterback and they fire the coach. Like I am 100% in the belief that Ryan Poles had no intention, no want of keeping Eberflus. I don't think he even wanted to hire Eberflus when he hired Eberflus. And they'll never say it while employed by the Bears that's what happened. But I it's going to take a lot for me to not. And this isn't like weird because this is just me. It just because I think Ryan Poles is an intelligent man, and anyone that's intelligent would not want Eberflus as their head coach.
Oh man. Okay.
They
Okay.
would see that. They would have a conversation with him, and after he mumbly joed his way through the interview, be like, "This isn't the guy. This isn't. He's not a head coach." That's what they should say. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But we kind of knew that was gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh
kind of knew unless Caleb was gonna have the 4,500, 4,400 yard passing, and they won 9, 10 games. Eberflus's job was over. It
yes,
was we kind of knew that, which
yes,
then we knew that it was going to be another one of those head coach gets fired. Like,
yes,
am I a little shocked it happened before Black Monday? Yes.
yes. It happened after Thanksgiving.
Yes, it happened
But
early.
I mean, that was like the fifth straight embarrassment, though. It had to
Yeah,
happen. They should. They
it
should have.
did.
They should have fired him. They should have fired him. I am 100%. If they weren't going to fire him in the offseason, then it should have been after the Hail Mary.
No, their season was still in hand.
No,
In
it
hand,
was.
they
It
had
was
the season.
clearly over at that point.
It was only clearly over because the rest of the division was on fire,
Yes.
and you couldn't keep
There's
up
two
with them.
14-win teams.
You couldn't keep up with them. That's the only reason why it was that bad. Because it was like I said, it's hard to compete with them.
There's a very strong chance there'll be a 14, a 15, a 14, and a 12-win team all in the same division.
Yes.
Come on. But the Bears are going to win, so it'll be a 15, a 14, and 11 win team. Because the Packers are still frauds. No matter what anyone says, the Packers are frauds.
All right.
Okay. Well, man, I don't have anything fun to end on.
And it's taken all your joy away from you.
Yes. There's nothing worth this. I can't wait for this football season to be over with.
There was so much joy in the preseason.
Oh,
There was, which is what the preseason's
they were
for.
4-2
Like,
at one point. I was extremely excited.
there was, I was like, Derek, I see how happy you are, Derek. I don't want them to take your joy from you.
They were 4-2. There were there's still I still don't understand how they didn't at least equal 7-10, which was last year's record.
The team is way better.
The team is way better.
The team is way
The
better. There's
coaching is
no
just
reason.
it's an absolute disaster.
The division is tougher. Your
Yeah.
division has gotten tough.
But they only have to play 6 games against the division.
And y'all are not going to win one.
I know.
Just like we may not win one game in the division. And our division's not as tough as yours.
No. It's really bad. There's no way they should finish worse than 7-10, and they're going to finish with possibly 4 wins.
Yeah.
4 wins, which is closer to what they won when they got the number 1 pick than it is to a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
They are closer to the number 1 pick than they are to any playoff spot. I hate it so much.
Vegas had the Giants at 3.5 wins. That was the over/under. They win today. They win on Sunday. They're at 4 wins.
Yep.
And I wonder how many people took the over. I would have beat the over. Now I'm like, oh boy.
The Bears were 8.5 over under, and I would have taken the over on that. I expected them to win 10 games this year.
I thought 6.
10,
At least
10
6
and
or
7.
7.
Yeah, at least 6. Yeah, yeah, at least 6. That makes sense. No, we're staring down the barrel of 4-13, and it's going to take a miracle to be 5-12.
If the Giants have the same record as the Bears,
Woof.
I hope not. I hope we have a 3 wins. I don't want to have 4 wins.
That's what I don't get, man. The Patriots, awful. Tennessee, awful. The Browns, awful.
You can throw the Giants in there. Giants are awful.
Giants, I'm just going down the list. Giants, awful. Jacksonville, awful. Carolina, awful. Jets, awful. Vegas, awful. Now, the Jets have a better roster than all those other teams I just mentioned.
They do a much better roster than
Much better roster than all those other teams, all those other 7. The
Yep.
Bears have a better roster than those other 7 teams, too. It's debatable on the Jets.
Yes.
New Orleans, 5-11. They're
They stink.
abysmal. They're
They stink.
straight up bad. Their
We lost to
roster
them
isn't
in
good.
overtime. We lost to them in overtime.
Their roster is not good. And now we start to get into the teams. San Francisco 6-10, the Colts,
Injuries, yeah.
Dallas. Dallas still ended up with 7 wins. Remember when they were just like, well, I don't know if they'll win their game.
They went on a streak until they found the Philadelphia Eagles and got
That'll do it every
mollywopped.
time.
Got
Streak busters.
mollywopped.
All right. Well, I can't do it anymore.